What up, guys? I hope you enjoyed that footage. I definitely felt like I did some of the best snowboarding I've done ever, probably. I just felt really inspired recently, and I think I discovered my new chairlift is Symphony. There's just so many awesome trees, so much cool terrain going on over there on Whistler that I think I'm gonna probably spend a lot more time there too. Thanks again for tuning in. Um, I've had a really great idea on where I think I'm going to go next in life. And I'll just kind of give you a little backstory about how I ended up here in Whistler in the first place. So I was laying down on my friend Aaron's couch, and we were watching Anthony Bourdain, and he ended up going to the French Alps, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, holy cow, that's what I want. I've always wanted to live on a mountain. I've always wanted to spend an entire season snowboarding, and I hadn't been snowboarding in probably about 6 years. I just didn't feel physically healthy enough to do it. It was an expensive sport to try to get into. I didn't have any of the gear, but as soon as I saw Anthony Bourdain go to the French Alps, I was like, oh my god, that's what I want to do. I hit pause on the episode, and I remember he went into another room or something, and I stepped outside and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I had this crazy idea. She's like, whoa, and I was like, I want to move to Canada. I want to be a snowboard bum for the winter. And she didn't say anything for like 20 seconds. It was like silence. And then she goes, I think that's great out of the box thinking. I'll think about what paperwork you need, et cetera, et cetera. And we just started talking about, some of the details and things I had to think about after that. But so I just have to say, like, it's one thing to like have this idea, but then to have my mom be so supportive and say that she thinks it's a good idea as well. It's just like, man, it's just so fitting. So yeah, I mean, I spent the next couple of weeks just sort of looking into what paperwork I had to do, spending a lot of time on Craigslist and the local Facebook page, just looking for places to live, and I found a really, really awesome looking spot that was within walking distance of the lifts and right in the village. It had a washer dryer and unit and everything else that I was just on my checklist of things I wanted to have. And most importantly, living alone, just because I've gotten so used to having my own space and basically, not having to consider anyone else's feelings or have any other social dynamic going on just in my house. And so I literally had zero chill. I emailed the Craigslist ad I think like 8 times before he even responded. I was just like da 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 da, and I'm like, oh man, I blew it. And he messages me back like a week later. He's like, oh, like very short message. He's like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh no, he probably doesn't want to have to deal with an American. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm like, oh, I'm from Seattle. And then he emails me back and he goes, oh, I'm from Seattle. So he's from Seattle. His wife lives in Delta, and they're just like this nice old couple. And so I got his phone number, started chatting with him the next day on the phone. I asked him some questions. He's like, oh, I don't know. Here, talk to my wife. So I started talking to his wife. They're such nice people. I'm like, okay, this is either the most elaborate scam of all time, or I just sort of hit the jackpot. Although I didn't really know what to expect when I moved here because the pictures looked like they were taken on some like Razor flip phone. Like I'm telling you, these pictures were like the lowest quality resolution that I've ever seen. And so when I finally, drove up through the border, just to tell you a little story at the border. So I get there. I have all of my stuff. Like my car looks like the IKEA commercial where it's just piled high. I got things strapped to the top of it. I get to the border. There's no one there. First time I've ever been to the Canadian border. It's just completely empty. And I go in and they tell me to park in the corner. I have to fill out all these forms, and the forms are like pretty complicated. Like I don't really know what the question's asking, and they're so bored there that the woman that was helping me, I kept asking her what this and this meant. She's just like, just give me your documents. And she just filled it out all for me. So they just had nothing to do because no one's crossing. So, and I thought that was funny. But yeah, ended up going up, grabbing the keys. They gave me the the Wi-Fi password and everything, and told me a little bit about the space. And then then drove up to Whistler. And when I got here and opened the door for the first time, the place was 10 times better than the picture showed. I know that like it's usually the opposite, right? They try to make the space look really big and and thing they try to make like glam everything up for the ad. I'm telling you, it's like complete opposite. I walked inside, I was like, okay, this place is amazing. Like it was such a stark difference to almost anything that I've experienced before. Just so I think I just like really lucked out in the housing situation. But that brilliant moment that I felt when I was like, oh, I want to move to Whistler. I feel like I just had that about a week ago, and I've decided that I am going to move back to the States in Washington when my lease is over on the last day of April. And I'm going to be moving down to Shelton to live with my friend Gino on his property called the Prancing Unicorn, or PUR. I don't know if you've heard of it. Back before COVID, I had threw a New Year's party there, and I've had a couple campouts there. It's just an amazing space that he's turning into a really awesome campground and resort center, like where he's building a bunch of facilities for it, and is hoping to turn it into um, you know, a membership style campground where people can go and express themselves and have artistic projects and things like that. And so him and I are just always in communication and bouncing ideas off each other. And I was just like, man, that's where I want to go next. So just like I called my mom, I like as soon as I had the idea, I grabbed my phone, walked outside, called Gino. I was like, hey, crazy idea. How do you feel about me moving out there? And he was down for it. It felt very natural, and he was very excited for it. So that's definitely my next move. And as soon as I hung up the phone with Gino, then I called my mom. It was probably like 9:30 at night. I'm like, Mom, check this out. I know what I'm doing right after Whistler. I'm moving to my friend's property. I'm going to help him work on it, and it's going to be awesome. And my mom, again, thought it was a great idea. It was just very supportive. So, I mean, if there's one takeaway from this video, is just how much I love my mom and how supportive she is. And she always said that, if we would truly be happy, she would be supportive of it. And my brother and I have definitely put her through some trials and tribulation, but every single time she really has been that supportive. So I just feel like I've got my next play in life, and nothing has turned out how I thought last year and this year would turn out. But I always say that all the best things in life that have ever happened to me have been a result of things not going to plan. So I'm just very excited to stay up in the season and go snowboarding, 5-6 days a week. Well, now that I know that there's sort of an end point to when I'm staying here, it's really exciting. I don't know how to say it. It's like savoring something that's not going to last forever, but at the same time being very excited for the next thing in life that I'm equally excited for. Like, I just can't wait to reconnect with my friends and family, and it's so nice to not really have a really concrete set plan, but then to have a general idea of where I'm going and what I want to do. And it's just, I don't know, as I've gotten older in life, I've definitely gotten better at just keeping my mind open and recognizing these ideas and opportunities and then seizing them. So that's my next play in life. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you wouldn't mind just hitting the like and subscribe button at the bottom of the screen, it just really helped me grow my channel. And I'm going to still try to keep putting out videos once or twice a week or more, just whenever I feel motivated, or actually even when I'm not feeling motivated, I'm going to try to do it anyways. So until next time, thank you so much, and we are living. Woo! Let's go.